Assalamualaikum. I am Ananya Raiyan, student of Joshua University of Science and Technology Department of Nutrition and Food Technology, second year, first semester. Thanks to our honorable teacher for giving me a chance to submit my assignment topics through video. Now I am going to present my assignment on the course of Technology of Baking and Confection. So let's start. My topics are wheat flour milling, soft wheat products, pasta and noodles, and corn. Wheat flour. First of all, we will know what is wheat flour. Wheat flour is a powder made from the grinding of wheat used for human consumption. Wheat flour is mainly used in baking industry for making bread, sweets, cakes, biscuits, donuts, crackers, and so more. We can also make breakfast cereals by using wheat flour like gravies, soups, pasta, noodles, etc. Flour treatment. Flour treatment means the way of improving the quality of dough. It has 4 steps: bleaching, maturing, melting, and enrichment. Bleaching helps to make the flour whiter. Here the carotenoid yellow pigment of the flour is oxidized to produce whiter flour. This is done by using chemical bleaching agents. Maturing helps to strengthen the properties of the flour. The common maturing agent is potassium bromate. Melting. In this step, we will add melted barley to the flour to assist yeast fermentation. Enrichment means addition of nutrients to the flour. Vitamins and minerals are lost during milling process, so we can add different nutrients for increasing the caloric value of the flour. Wheat fortification and enrichment. Fortification means adding nutrients which are originally absent in the food to prevent deficiencies in a community. Like we can add several micronutrients to the wheat flour. Enrichment means putting back the nutrients which are lost during the milling process to maintain the nutrient profile of the food. Like vitamin and minerals are lost during the milling process. Byproduct of flour milling and their utilization. The main byproduct of wheat milling process are bran, flour, germ, and grain screening. Bran is the outer covering of the seed. It contains fiber, protein, and less amount of flour. The second milling byproduct is flour. Flour is fine in texture. It consists of starch and gluten. The third byproduct is germ. It is the embryo of the seed. It is high in lipids and proteins. The next byproduct is grain screening, which is mainly a mixture of dust, weed, broken grains, and unsound grains. Rheology of dough. The importance of dough rheology is well recognized in controlling the quality of baked products. Variation in the elastic and viscous behavior of different wheat flour doughs is considered as a primary quality factor in bakery application. Rheological test that can correctly predict the baking performance of any wheat variety would save time, material, and labor. Wheat flour milling. At first, the wheat is received at flour mill and then they are taken for physical and chemical analysis. Then the wheat is put into the separator to be purified. Next, it passes through an aspirator which works like a vacuum cleaner. This separator helps to separate smaller and larger objects from the wheat. Magnetic separator helps to remove metallic material from the wheat. Now we have to tempering the wheat. Then we need to soaking the wheat in cold water for 3 days. Now we have to grind the wheat by roller machine. By shifting, separating, regrinding, and enriching, we can have the final product. Quality control and flour testing. The objectives of quality control and flour testing are: monitor uniformity throughout the mill run, ensure uniformity at the time of shipment, ensure that the flour meets the customer's specification, verify that the flour has desirable characteristics. The flour can be tested by protein test, dough test, baking test, and machinability test. Protein test. Protein determination is very important for millers because low protein content is desired for crisps or tender products like snacks or cakes, and high protein content is desired for chewy type products. Dough test. Physical dough testing instrument collects objective data and rheological properties of flour and dough that are useful for quality testing and process control. It helps to maintain consistency during shipment. Baking test. Baking test is done by evaluating the balance between gluten strength and dough extensibility during processing. The fermentation process at different conditions. The effect of using additives, sensory attributes of the baked goods. Machinability test. Mechanical test of wheat flour dough is done by farinograph, extensograph, mixograph, and alveograph instruments. These tests are useful for providing practical information for the baking industry about the wheat. Soft wheat products. The characteristics of soft wheat products are: the gluten content is low, have a much lower extension rate, have a less compact starch protein complex which result in starch damage and lower water absorption. The protein level is low, it required for making biscuit, cakes, etc. Chemical leavening agent. Baking soda is a chemical leavening agent which is a white powder and has a pH level of 8 to 9. When combined with an acidic ingredient, it will produce carbon dioxide. Some example of acidic ingredient that will activate baking soda are buttermilk, lemon juice, yogurt, sour cream, honey, etc. Processing of biscuits and cakes. First of all, we will know the processing of biscuits. For this, we have to mix the ingredient for making dough. Then we will ferment it and give a preferable shape. After that, we need to bake it, test the quality of biscuit and package it for supply. In the processing of cake, at first we need to mix the ingredients in a pan, baking them thoroughly. Let them cool for some time. After baking the cake in oven, then finally package it for supply. Processing of crackers. For making crackers, at first we have to take the raw materials, then mix them thoroughly. After that, fermenting and baking the mixture with a standard temperature, vapor and humidity. By this way, we can have the final cracker and can supply them after packaging. Flour for pasta and noodles. The most popular flour for pasta and noodles is semolina flour, which is a finely ground flour made from a particularly hard variety of wheat called durum. Processing of pasta and noodles. For making pasta and noodles, we have to take the raw materials and mix the ingredients entirely. For making noodles, we need to keep the dough in a sheeting machine and cutting them properly. After drying, the noodles will be ready for supply. And for preparing pasta, we have to do kneading for making the pasta dough. Then we have to extrude it by pasta machine and dry it after baking. By this way, the pasta will be ready to consume. Associate equipment. For making pasta and noodles, we need some associate equipments like cheese grater, drying rack, dough scraper, chopper, pasta machine, noodles machine, roller pin and wooden spoon. Corn sugar syrup. Corn sugar syrup are viscous liquids containing dextrose, maltose, hard sugars and dextrins. It is also known as glucose syrup to the confectioners. It is used in food to soften texture, add volume, prevent crystallization of sugar and enhance flavor. They are produced by the hydrolysis of corn esters using acid or acid enzyme treatment. Processing and utilization of maize. Firstly, we need to take the raw corn or maize and shield it entirely. After cleaning, drying, we have to do the germ separation. Here, after milling, we will have the corn flour and after cooking, we will have the corn flakes. Utilization. Nutritionally, maize contains 60% starch and 15% protein. Yellow maize is the richest source of vitamin A. We can make different kinds of food from maize like popcorn, cornflakes, chapati, etc. Processing and utilization of barley. For processing barley, we need to take the whole barley grain and clean them. After grading, steeping, germinating, we will have the melted barley. And after tempering, dehulling, aspiration, steaming, flaking, drying, we will have the barley flakes. If we polish the dehulled barley and milling it in the roller, then we can have barley flour. Utilization. Barley is the fourth most important cereal in the world, mainly used as animal feed and for brewing and distilling. We can have several benefits from barley, like it helps to control blood sugar, lower blood glucose level, improve insulin response, reduce blood pressure and help to control weight. Processing and utilization of oat. For processing oat, we have to take the raw oat at first. Then after cleaning and grading, we have to dehull and clean it for having oat groat. Then after milling, we can have the oat flour. And after flaking and rolling it, we can have the oat flakes. Utilization. Oat have received considerable attention for their high content of dietary fibers, phytochemicals and nutritional value. We can make high nutritious food from oat like bread, biscuits, cookies, breakfast cereals, infant foods, etc. Manufacture of breakfast cereal from grains. Breakfast cereal is a processed food manufactured from grains and intended to be eaten as a main course served with milk during the morning meal. The grain most commonly used are corn, wheat, oats, rice and barley. For manufacturing process, at first we have to prepare the grain. After separating the foreign material from the grain, we have to dry it thoroughly. Then we have to cool the grain to stabilize the moisture content. The process is known as tempering. In bumping step, we have to put the grain in a roller machine. Then we have to grind the grain according to the need of cereal. After that, we can give it shape and enrich them by adding vitamin, minerals, sweeteners, flavors, etc. By this way, the breakfast cereal will be ready to supply. Industrial alcohol production from cereal grain. For making alcohol, firstly we need to take the cereal grain. Then we have to gelatinize it by amylase and heat. After that we have to do saccharification and fermentation. Then do distillation by heat. And by this way ethanol or alcohol can be produced. So this is my overall presentation. Thank you for listening it.